From the Oklahoma newsroom, it's time for the Energy FC Weekly Update. I'm Jenni Carlson here with the coach, Steve Cooke. Coach, good to have you back.
Thank you so much.
And third-year pro here with Energy, Kyle Hyland. Kyle, good to have you back, too.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Okay, guys, let's do a little rewind on last Saturday at home against Reno. It was a 2-1 loss, and Steve, it was any little mistake it seemed like they were capitalizing on. Frustration, I'm sure, for you guys.
Yeah, a little bit of frustration and disappointment. I think as a team performance, we played well, and I think it was a relatively consistent performance right the way throughout. And unfortunate for us, we made a couple of small individual errors that meant that the other team could capitalise, and unfortunately we couldn't get that one goal and that tied the game up or could go on to win the game. But you know, credit to the players, they kept working throughout as always and kept fighting hard, and you know, just eliminate a couple of those mistakes and we'll be right there.
Yeah, just 2 minutes in, that corner kick header that we saw just a second ago, you guys got equalized it at 34th minute though. Alex Dixon gets you guys on the board, but then late in the second half, a turnover turns into a game winner for Reno in the 76th minute. Kyle, again, I know frustration, but you guys have looked like you've maybe turned at least a little bit of a corner from that losing streak, got some wins, a tie, and then that close result against Reno.
Yeah, I mean, you can start to see that things are starting to click a little bit, and we're starting to play better. Things are starting to turn in our favor at times. Yeah, we took a step back with the Reno loss and stuff, but there's a lot of good things to take out of it, and I think we can kind of take those things into the next game, and I think we'll be all right.
You guys are getting ready to head out for as extended a road trip as you'll have, back-to-back road games. Sunday you head to Seattle. That's a 3:30 start, which around here is unheard of now this time of year, but in Seattle they still get nice weather, so 3:30. And then Wednesday you go play Portland, a 9 o'clock start, Oklahoma City time, and then back home Saturday the 16th for Rio Grande Valley. Steve, what's the challenge as you guys head out to play Seattle and Portland? What do you feel like your guys need to do in those two matches?
Yeah, it's an unusual one in that not only have we got the Sunday, Wednesday, so a couple of days rest and then we play again, but then a couple of days after that we're home against Rio Grande Valley. So it's a challenge in that you're going to need everybody to be ready. You're going to need as many fit, fresh and hungry players as you possibly can, and you're going to need players who are not only willing to step up and maybe play through a couple of little injuries and knocks at times, but you're looking for people who can really knuckle down. It's more of a mentality situation than I think anything else. And again, credit to our guys. I see them every day in training. I see the work that they put in. This morning was no different. So I have no doubt in my mind that physically they'll be ready and mentally they'll be tough enough to get through the next week period.
We'll talk about the challenges of a road swing like this in a second. But Kyle, as you think about these teams that you're about to face, anything stand out in terms of what you guys will need to do to put yourself in the best position to either get a win or a tie out of these two matches coming up?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's mainly focusing on us and how we're going to approach a game. I mean, we've seen Portland before when we played them at home, and I mean, we felt pretty confident going into that game, and I still think that we feel pretty confident going into them again. And as far as Seattle, we've played them in the past couple of years and stuff, and they're both teams are young teams. They're usually very athletic, high-paced and stuff. So I think that the way we play and the way we match up against them, I think we're going to be fine and confident. And I think as long as we focus on our game, I think we'll be all right.
I mentioned that road trips like this, you guys don't have a ton where you have multiple games on the road. It's just not something that happens. You guys are going to do it again in September, if that gives people any idea. From early June to September, you'll have a Southern Cal swing with Orange County and LA. But to have multiple matches on the road, Kyle, what's the challenge for players as you think about heading out, being gone for a while, having a couple matches out there?
I think it's just changing your your typical day and stuff. But at the same time, I mean, you could look at it more positively, and it kind of gets us away from any stresses that we have in our life, and we can kind of gel as a team, get to know each other on the road. I mean, there's nothing like going on the road and getting to know each other and hanging out with each other the whole time. We get good meals the whole time too, so it's easier to fuel your body and everything. So you can kind of look at it more of a positively way. And yeah, I think doing that throughout the road trip and stuff kind of creates that chemistry going into the games.
Steve, do you guys as a coaching staff try to do things to get the guys, the best opportunities on the road? Because to hear that, it sounds like you guys should have multiple on the road swings all the time if they're that good. But are there things that you guys are trying to do to make it as positive as possible for these guys?
Yeah, we do plan and prepare quite extensively for these trips, and credit to the backroom staff as well, equipment manager and the people doing the treatment, and Paddy Farrell, the team admin, does a great job of looking after the players. We plan things out as best we possibly can, and again, it's less training, more rest, recuperation, so play, rest, and I think Kyle's right, is that some of the best memories I've had and some of the best times I have been on the road with a group of people with a singular focus of doing well for each other and doing well together. So for me, I love the road trips. I like some of the extended stuff where you may be on a bus for a few hours or you're on a plane ride and you get to talk about not only the games and soccer and how we can do better, but you get to know each other a little bit better, and you get to talk about some really important things in life, and sometimes it can be a real breath of fresh air for everybody. So as always, I love everything about what we do, and going on the road is nothing else. It's just a great positive experience.
Kyle, when you think about road trips of the past, you don't get to sleep in your own bed, you're sort of on another schedule. I mean, are there things that maybe are more challenging, that is difficult to deal with, or do you just roll with those things after a while?
Yeah, I mean, it's not sleeping in your same bed, it's not being around your family and stuff. So I mean, those things throw you off a little bit, so you're not as comfortable as you normally are at home and stuff like that. But no, I mean, I think you just have to settle into it quickly, and especially on a longer road trip, it does give you a little bit more time, so you don't have to worry about the travel time and everything like that. It gives you a little bit more space, especially for that Portland game on Wednesday. You get to actually have a day where you're resting and not traveling, so that kind of helps as well.
You can actually unpack your bag at the
yeah,
hotel.
Exactly.
You don't have to live out of your bag. That's kind of nice. Steve, what do you guys do in terms of managing downtime? Because you will obviously have game days and practice times, but then there's some downtime, which normally these guys get to regulate themselves when you're at home. How do you sort of do that on the road? Yeah,
I think this is one of the great things as a professional player and somebody involved in our profession, is that managing downtime is one of the biggest things you can do, and being an athlete 24 hours a day, but also understanding when to relax, when to, take a little bit of time for yourself. And we try to give them those moments, and we'll take them into downtown Portland and we'll get a dinner and we'll let them, maybe do a bit of shopping and that kind of thing. But there's also times in the hotel room where you get your feet up and maybe take a nap where otherwise you wouldn't. And Kyle's spot on, is that the more difficult thing is the daily routine with your family, and you miss your family and that kind of thing. But if you add it all up together, it's a pretty positive experience. We're very fortunate to be able to travel all over the country and see different things and spend our time together with some people who we have a lot of respect for and work hard together with. So for us, it's part of what we do for a living, and I think we're extremely fortunate to be doing it.
So somebody might disappear into a movie theater for a few hours, or yeah. Netflix binge in the room for a while.
Absolutely.
I'm sure that happens, right, Kyle?
Oh yeah, absolutely. People hit up Netflix like all the time on road trips.
Yeah, free pub for Netflix. Maybe we can get something out of that. All right, guys, we know you got a lot of games to come. We'll catch up with these guys from the road next week, but you can go to energyfc.com for all information about game times, where you can see the games, and tickets for future matches. Again, Energy back home on the 16th. Be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoma.